But I think some of the other things that people fight about, it's like, my husband does not help me with chores around the house.
It's so basic. Think about this.
Have you asked?
Right.
Have you asked?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to. That's the response.
Yep.
I shouldn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
You are responsible for communicating your needs.
Yes.
And that's coming from you. Where did you used to sit on this?
I used to be like, no, MFer, you need to be knowing you're a grown ass adult and you need to know your place and how to help. Like, you see me struggling here. Why can't you help out?
Welcome, beautiful people, and thank you for joining us on Till the Wheels Fall Off, a podcast by Two Folk Couple. I'm Matt.
And I'm Paige.
And we're here to inspire others, to bring you guys into our lives and tell you a little bit about our journey. Over 20 years together, we've learned a few things.
We're going to work toward being the best version of yourself possible. We're going to dig into building a positive mindset, discuss mental health, addiction recovery, improving fitness, building businesses, and insight into what it takes to navigate life today.
Welcome back to another episode of Till the Wheels Fall Off. I'm Matt.
I'm Paige.
And before we begin, I have a favor to ask. We have a favor to ask. If you like this show, please take a moment to follow us on whatever podcast platform you listen on, or YouTube. If you gather something from any of these shows that you like, share it out on your social media and tag us. There's nothing we love more than to know who you guys are.
Yep.
It just fires us up anytime we see it. So before we begin, I just wanted to get that out of the way.
And we might have stickers for you.
There's probably stickers in it for you.
We got some dope ass stickers and I love them. I just ordered more, so.
Okay. Let's talk.
Okay. So I apparently don't talk enough on this podcast. So this little episode is going to be a little different because I'm going to just freaking talk.
Okay, let's do it.
And we actually do have a topic that we'll get to in a little bit. But first, this week has been freaking kick-ass in so many different ways. Yeah. And I want to just recap a little bit and ask you how the week was for you.
It's been a blur.
Has it been a blur?
It's been an absolute blur.
Are you tired?
No, I'm not tired. It's just my brain is starting to reject anything I try to feed it now.
Is that because you have a lot on your plate?
Yeah, but it's all good stuff and it's all exciting.
It is.
Yeah,
it's good and exciting shit.
It started last weekend.
Yes.
Last weekend we had 3 or 5 games.
No,
3 games in 5 days. Baseball games with the kids.
Plus we had the baseball
and I coach, so it's
ceremony thing, and we had parties, and it was just like one thing after another last weekend.
Yeah, and then we got to do something really cool.
Really, really, really cool. We were invited to be guests on a podcast. It was our first time we've ever been invited on together. Yes. And it is our dear friends, Jesse and Jay Norman, and it's called Moving On Again. And we had the best time ever. I mean, the episode is almost 2 hours long because we were just so into the conversation and we go so deep into it, and it was just it made us tearful. Like, we were grateful to be there.
It was incredible. Their podcast is awesome. Like, these are just two incredibly authentic, genuine, loving people, and they asked us on, and it's like, we have to do this.
Yeah.
So they don't live too terribly far from us. We drove over there, and they had a couple of questions for us, but for the most part it was just a very organic conversation. Mm-hmm. Where we're just going back and forth, telling the story of our lives. And in that episode that's out there, and you can find it on their podcast page, it's basically like our 34 episodes or whatever kind of surmised into like one big episode.
Yeah.
With a bunch of other fun stuff that we don't even discuss here.
Right.
So it's really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. I encourage anyone to listen.
It. I was very much out of my comfort zone, but they made me feel comfortable. So it was good, and I embraced it. And I'm actually wearing one of their shirts. Drop the rope, which is one of their sayings that they, try to teach people. Do you want to tell everybody what that means?
Drop the rope it's this really cool euphemism for two people playing tug of war. Mm-hmm. I have my point I'm trying to make. You have your point that you're trying to make, and we play tug of war back and forth. And they teach this beautiful saying, drop the rope. Just drop the rope. Surrender, give up. Let's just drop the rope and let's come together. Let's stop fighting over this. Let's come together. And so they have really cool merch. Drop the rope shirts and hoodies and things like that. You can check it out on their website and order one.
I'd love it. I think it's
we
beautiful.
were guests, so we got them for free, which is awesome.
We've bought their stuff before because I love their shirts. They're great. And they're just beautiful people. So y'all check them out. Moving On Again is the podcast. So speaking of communication, I hate it when you do that. Okay, first of all, can I tell you a funny story that happened to me today?
Yes, I would love one.
Okay, so I had an appointment and they canceled it on me, and then they called me and said, "Hey, you can come in 30 minutes from now. It's cool. It's not canceled anymore." They called you out of the blue,
like you're good to go?
Yeah, they're like, they said, "We can't do this part of the appointment, but we can do the other part of the appointment." I'll tell you what I got done in a minute, because I am going to be authentic and real about this. But what happened was I had to rush out of the house because we live in BFE. That's what people say when you live really far away.
We live in Texas, but we really live in southern Oklahoma.
Yeah. So everything takes at least 30 to 45 minutes to get to. And this is in the same city. So I'm dressed in not this. It was actually worse than not like
you had like mom activewear on.
Yeah,
right?
I had activewear on. I was going to work
suburban
out.
Mom activewear.
I was going to get a workout in because I was like, all right, cool. I can sweat now because I'm not going to do this thing. And I have goofy ass socks because that's how I roll. I am a sock queen. If you know me, I like to wear weird socks.
She buys like a pair of socks a week. That have,
do.
Like, wild stuff on them from this like little boutique downtown.
In McKinney, it's amazing because they rotate them out like every freaking week. Yeah, it's a Groovy Coop. Y'all, check it out. Best store ever. It's so fun. They got like witch stuff and Nintendo. They used to have that Nintendo. I don't think they have that anymore. But anyway, so I had these new socks on and I didn't know that I was wearing this. I was in my car and I was driving and I was like, I looked down at my feet and I started dying laughing, literally laughing at myself in the car. And I was like,
what did they say?
I was like, shit. They say,
oh, you have them on.
I have them on still because I don't change my clothes much.
They say, there goes my last flying fuck.
Yep.
And there's like butterflies all over them.
Yes. So I walk into this place.
So we're classy, y'all.
And these people are looking at my sock. And I don't care, honestly. I really don't. Whatever. You can think what you want of me. But this is a place that you go. So I went to go get cheek fillers things.
First timer here.
Yeah, first timer. So you know the people there. Beautiful people there who are just like very put together. Okay, keep your opinions to yourself.
Quack, quack. Looking like ducks, man.
Matt, oh my God. Okay, so Matt has this thing about shiny face people.
They're shiny. It's not supposed
my
to
face
look
is
like
so
that.
shiny right now, and it's really hard to smile because my cheeks freaking hurt.
You look adorable, by the way.
Thank you. I'm a mess. But anyway, I walked in and I was like, please excuse me. I did not mean to wear these socks. And she's like, girl, you're fine. You're fine. Everything was okay. Whatever. But I just thought it was hilarious that I actually went out in public with socks that say fuck on them.
That's greatness.
So that was my story for the day.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. This is the most you've ever talked on this show, other than the episode that you did.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get comfortable. I don't want it to be just like preach to people. We're going to be doing this a long time and they need to get to know me.
I agree.
So
could not agree more.
I'm getting comfortable in the discomfort, but I feel good. Anyway, so back to the episode and back to us actually having a teaching lesson, I guess. We're going to kind of talk about communication within a marriage because we asked our followers what they would like to hear on a podcast. And somebody said the other half assuming that you know what they want you to do or what to get them.
Basically how to read your mind.
How do you read my mind? How
this
do you
is
read
like the
somebody's
oldest
mind?
fight in all of humanity.
I have heard this from so many women that it is unreal.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is okay.
This is a very common problem. I was that woman for a long time until I went to therapy and had a reality check. So we're going to share some tips for y'all on how to basically be direct and communicate in your relationship.
I think a lot of this stems from the fact that men are from Mars and women are from Venus.
Bingo.
Our brains are set
bingo.
up and we communicate differently. Mm-hmm. And women have a much higher sense of nonverbal communication. You guys, you have sensory that we just don't have. You pick up on so many nuances in communication. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's not that we're dumb. well, maybe we're dumb.
I think y'all are simple
It's
creatures.
not that we're dumb. It's just, it's just for men, just communicate to me what you need.
Right.
And for women, it's much deeper than that, right?
Right.
It's like you're not just communicating with a woman when you're saying something. It's how you're saying it.
Mm-hmm.
It's how your eyebrows are stanced. It's everything.
Right.
It's everything. It's you guys are. Your sensory is so much higher than ours. And I think that a lot of communication breaks down because we get selfish in communication. It's I expect you to communicate how I need you to communicate to me, rather than how people just communicate.
All right.
Does that make sense?
It does. There was just a lot of communicating that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. You blew my mind a little bit.
A little redundant there. But yeah, communication, I think that it's at the core of every relationship. Any great relationship anyway has great communication.
Right.
There's back and forth, there's discussion about what the other partner needs. But if you're not communicating what you need, we both feel like that's on you,
Yes,
right?
I do.
And we've had this conversation with many people, and there are a lot of people who will die on that hill. No, you know what I need, just do it.
Right.
But I don't. Did you ever consider the fact that I don't?
Right.
Maybe I don't.
So are you talking about like emotional needs, or are you talking about chores and like physical needs?
I'm speaking more of like the physical stuff right now.
Okay.
Like, what do you need from me at this moment?
Right.
I think that other stuff is very much reading your partner, knowing your partner. And a lot of that is very nonverbal.
Yeah.
But I think some of the other things that people fight about, it's like, my husband does not help me with chores around the house.
It's so basic. Think about this.
Have you asked?
Right.
Have you asked?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to. That's the response.
Yep.
I shouldn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
You are responsible for communicating your needs.
Yes.
And that's coming from you. Where did you used to sit on this?
I used to be like, no, MFer, you need to be knowing you're a grown ass adult and you need to know your place and how to help. Like, you see me struggling here. Why can't you help out? That was my mentality for a very long time. And we would fight over it.
A lot. That
Yeah.
was and every time I would get my butt chewed out, I'm like, crap, I'm sorry. Like, just let me know. Like, I'll do it. No problem.
Right. So do you want me to share what changed?
I was about to ask, what changed in your development that helped you see a better way to communicate with me?
Well, when I was in therapy, I would bring this up, and I was basically told, I mean, my therapist never really told me exactly what to do. I kind of figured it out on my own through discussions that, he doesn't know what you need if you're not speaking it. If you're not asking for help, have you asked him to help you with the dishes? Have you asked him to help you fold the laundry? Have you asked him to help with the kids? And I think to myself, no, because I shouldn't have to. But in reality, it's pretty simple to just ask. So what I would do and what I did, this is fairly new, everyone. Like, this is not an old relationship problem that we had. This is a fairly new thing that has come to light, right?
Yeah.
So probably within the last 2 years.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So I have been more vocal about what I would need. Can you help me with the dishes? And I'm not rude about it.
Never.
That's a big thing, because a lot of the time I would be like, help me with the dishes. Don't be rude about it.
Yeah, I would just like snap my head off. And I'm like, what the?
Yeah. So I need help. Matt, can you please help me? So I would ask him I've probably asked you maybe 3 times to help me with the dishes, and now you just do it. And I don't have to ask you anymore because you know what I need.
Now I associate that nonverbal with what you need because you communicated it.
Thank you.
I didn't have to read your body language, which I'm not good at. Males just aren't very good at.
Right.
As it sits, this is how we've evolved for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And so now I can see it, and now I know. You've trained me.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Men are trainable. We want to train you.
Anyone
and it's
is.
possible.
Anyone is,
But
right?
we have to have patience. We have to be open-minded. And we have to really dumb it down and get simple and freaking ask. It's not that hard. It's really not. Now he helps with like taking the kids and doing extracurricular stuff. Like, it's incredible. Everything is so much more balanced now. I wish it was like this when the kids were babies, to be honest, because that was really rough. But I had a part in that too. because I didn't ask.
Yeah.
I
and
expected it.
I think once we had that conversation, and it wasn't an ugly conversation at all. It was very much her saying like, listen, this is what I need. Like, I've got a lot going on and I could really use your help with this, this, and this. And I'm just sitting there nodding like, okay, I'm figure out how I'm going to work this in my schedule. I'm like, yeah, we can figure this out. Not a big deal. And I think about like times in our relationship where I've needed something and I've always just asked you. It's always been super simple. Like, hey, could you do this for me?
That's true.
It's never been anything else. It's like, you were supposed to know that I need, no, I've just asked.
Right.
And so I feel like for just about everybody, the simplest thing to do is just ask. If you have a need, request it.
I wonder if it's because people have fear of rejection.
There's a big part of it, I think, is fear of rejection. Without a doubt, because something that's happened to me and you, there were times where you would ask me to do something. Let's say I was just moody that day and I would have a nasty attitude about it. You would feel less than, you would feel rejected. You would feel like he doesn't value me and my needs. Mm-hmm. And it would almost scare you off to the point where you wouldn't want to ask again because you didn't want to hurt like that.
Right.
You didn't want to feel that rejection.
Right.
Where, I have a part in that as well, of course. Like I said, I was in a mood and I was just being ugly and I could have responded better, but that's a conversation as well.
Yeah.
That's a conversation as well. Like, I think that we have probably the most productive fights now.
Oh yeah. It was not always like that though.
No, like when we argue now, it's very much like I will let you speak. And as you're speaking, like I will look at your eyes and I'm listening to everything that you're saying. I'm not thinking about how I'm going to respond next. I just need to hear what you're saying.
Oh, that's hard for you.
It's tough because my mind moves so fast. It's like I need to talk, I need to defend myself. I need to, just like go into lawyer mode. Mm-hmm. But now I look at you and I'm listening. And then as I'm listening, I'm also looking for empathy because that doesn't necessarily come natural to me. Like, what is she feeling? And then I validate it. And then I'll consider my response and then I respond. Mm-hmm. And we go back and forth like this. And it's productive because I'm not just sticking my, like a flag in the ground saying, I'm not moving. Yeah. I'm not budging. This is where I'm at. And we have some pretty passionate conversations. Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, we have, I guess you could call it heated at times.
Yeah.
But it's always productive and it's always with love and it's never ugly.
No.
And if it gets to that point, one will let the other know.
Right.
Like, that's flat out disrespectful. You cannot talk to me like that.
Right. Or we'll just move on and like separate from the rooms for a little bit.
Communication, though, like I think about this, I'm going to take this back to the professional world. I was the type of manager, leader, boss, executive, call it whatever you want. I was running a company. I was the type that expected people to follow my lead. And so I would show up early every day. I would stay late. I would take on extra tasks. I would do all these things. And then I would come home and I would vent for hours about how no one does what they're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And a very simple question was asked. Well, do they know what they're supposed to do? Have you ever given them roles and responsibilities and duties? I'm like, no. I told them what to do like one time and they're just supposed to read my mind. That's kind of what I was doing. And I was like, I get it from both sides. So I don't think that, I don't want to make this like a men versus women thing because I do the same thing.
Right.
I do it in my professional life.
Meet in the middle.
Life. Yeah. So it became a very clear conversation with everyone where it's like, this is what your job is. These are the expectations. And at work, it's different, right? Because people have roles. Like we're trying to accomplish a mission. It's not like a marriage where we're trying to coexist and accomplish goals. Like we have a mission. Let's accomplish it. You need to do this and you need to do that. I need to do this. And we get things done. But when it's communicated properly and when you give people feedback based on that, and you work with people and it's a constant follow-up and conversation and you're communicating properly, more gets done. Things are better. You're happier. You don't have those problems anymore. I can't tell you how many times I'd come home and just complain because they weren't doing it like I thought they should be doing it, but I never told them how to do it.
Yeah.
They're not me.
You never expressed yourself.
Right. I expect you to be me without telling you how to do it.
Right.
Which is very much like we're talking about in a marriage. It's like, I expect you to do what I would do.
Yeah. And I think of as a woman or as myself, we tend to be, especially a stay-at-home mom, like I'm supposed to take care of the house. I'm supposed to take care of everything. I'm supposed to be that person. And I'm supposed to be that strong person. And strong people, for some reason, don't ask for help. It's like it's a mentality
It's
that
supposed to be
some
like Drew
people
Cleaver
have.
and just like, yeah, like a 1950s housewife. and
Right,
just-
right. Like,
just
no, I am strong. I
Yeah.
am got this. Nobody needs to help me, which I read this, I guess it was kind of a part of an article today. And it said, asking for help is self-awareness, not weakness. And I thought that was beautiful.
Boom. Yeah, I like that.
Because if you think about it, also, a lot of women tend to ask for help if they're mentally struggling, if they're struggling, with depression or anxiety, we're going to go find help pretty quickly. But to ask for basic needs, like help me with dishes, help me with the kids, go change a diaper, it's hard for us to ask those things. So we need to question this and why we're doing this and just simplify it and have an intimate, non-judgmental conversation with our spouse about how we're feeling. And that can start the conversation, and you can start delegating jobs or, tell them what to do.
Yeah, I think that like my role in this is when that conversation took place, I wasn't ugly about it. I was listening, I was understanding, and I was willing to get us to the finish line. We talk about dropping the rope. Like I dropped the rope too.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to sit here and say like, I told you so. It's how you do it. There was none of that. It was just like,
ooh, I'm a told you so kind of person.
I'm not at all.
Nope, he's not.
Like at all. Like I think anytime people learn something is beautiful. I don't care how they get there.
I think so. I'm just being real here.
I know, but when we have those kinds of conversations and you're talking to me like, this is what I need. I'm like, this is what I've always asked for. This is perfect. Like, yeah, whatever you need. And now like chores are split up very differently now.
Yeah.
Like,
and he never complains. You really don't complain.
no. Why would
like
I?
you're willing to do it, and I
Why
really
would I?
appreciate that. I don't know, babe. Maybe I think I'm traumatized from a situation that happened many, many, many years ago.
Probably. Was I sober?
No,
Oh, well, I don't remember.
No.
I can't be held liable for that.
no,
I wasn't there.
It was bad. It was actually, I had to process that.
Sorry.
And it was because I did ask for your help, and you left me for like 3 hours and didn't help me.
Dang, man. That guy's a scumbag. I'd leave him.
So I think that's where mine kind of rooted from, but it's totally different now, which is kind of amazing and brilliant that we've built it. We've built on this, and
Yeah.
we've fixed it. We crumbled, and then we learned how to fix it together.
Yeah. Communicating your needs is a cornerstone, I think, in any relationship. Doesn't matter if it's at work, doesn't matter if it's your marriage or with your kids. Communicating your needs. Now, kids don't always listen. I get it. Sometimes you have to communicate a little more with some people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they don't get the first time, the second time, or the third time, but stay persistent and they will understand what you need.
Yes. I have a question.
What?
What are your thoughts on gifts?
Gifts.
Like if you want a gift and somebody doesn't.
Oh, I thought you meant like the movable like photos, like GIF,
No,
like gifts.
gift.
I'm like, what are my thoughts on
With a
gifts?
T.
Like,
Like where the
what kind of
hell is
existential
this going?
conversation is this?
Where's Paige going with
Gifts,
this? You're on.
GIFs. What are my thoughts on gifts?
Like a gift, like expecting the other spouse to know what to give you for a present or something like that.
That's wild. That's wild.
But can you? I'm.
You're asking the wrong person because we are not gift people.
No, we're not.
When's the last time we bought each other gifts for either a birthday or an anniversary?
I get you things for our anniversary sometimes. I quit doing it though.
We do? What did you get? I don't even know.
I made that. I got that song, thing that has "I'll Be" on it, the lyrics and our name. Because
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
It was
We
our
just-
marriage. It
little
was our
things like
wedding
that.
song. But like big gifts, no. We usually just, if we want to buy it, we just go buy it, right? Like we don't really expect the other person to know what we want.
I think we celebrate the moment, but I never put the pressure on you or me to decide what would she want right now. Like,
Okay.
no.
I'm just wondering because maybe people do, because the question was like what to get them. And I was wondering if that was a question based on gifts.
What to get them. Yeah, I don't know.
Like birthdays, anniversaries, or whatever it is, like you should expect to know what I want.
I don't know. Like I'm probably talking out of both sides of my mouth right now, but communication is two parts, right?
Yeah.
So part of it's speaking.
Mm-hmm.
The more important part is listening.
Yeah.
So maybe this person asking us this question was really saying my spouse doesn't listen, which is part of communication,
Okay.
which is another something very important. Active listening did not come natural to me.
No.
Active listening.
We actually did things. Oh my gosh. We did exercises for
for active listening, right?
But you probably don't remember because you weren't in a very good place to actively listen.
No, I remember that. Having to listen, repeat. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I have to do it all the time now. It's become like just a reflex for me.
Yeah.
But listening it's crucial. Like maybe if someone's got a problem like that, then they're not actively listening to their partner, which is very possible. But if you're not actively listening, I can only speak for myself here. I know that I'm very distracted a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not present, and meditation really helped me with that.
Yeah.
Spending time in meditation just kind of trains your mind to be present in the moment into whatever's going on. Getting rid of the electronics, getting rid of the chatter in my mind. Like I've got a committee in my mind that talks all day long about everything I have to do and everything going on. And actively listening to someone means you absolutely give them 100% of your undivided attention.
Yeah.
Turn your phone over, sit there and listen, and you'll pick up on all kinds of fun things that are between the lines.
We need to do that with our children more.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Let's give it a shot.
About that. Sorry.
Let's give it a shot. You're not active listening because you were just thinking about something else.
No, that all went together. But you know me. I go from ding, ding, ding.
Totally kidding. But no, if someone's got a question about gifts, I mean, I'm probably not the guy to ask. Just being honest.
Yeah.
Just not.
Yeah.
I don't
really, that's not really
people.
my area as well.
But reading minds, I very much can help someone
I
with.
do feel like that people, just communicate better, y'all. It's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not have to do everything. If you have too much going on, quit stressing yourself out over stuff too. That's another thing. Like my laundry is not always put together. Our dishes are not always put together, like it's not 100% important to have it all done if it stresses you out.
Yeah. And if you've got a partner that responds in a way that makes you feel unvalidated and unsafe, that's a different discussion to have.
100%. I'm glad you brought that up.
It does not mean that you shouldn't communicate your needs.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Go ahead and communicate them. If they don't validate you, and if they don't make you feel safe for sharing your feelings, then that's a totally different episode and conversation, which we will touch on.
Heck yeah.
That'd be a really fun one.
Oh yeah.
That'd be a really fun one. What else you got?
That's all I got on this. I don't think I have anything else to say.
Okay. I think that's a great one.
Unless you have any stories that were kind of fun that you had this week.
No, it was a blur. Like I said, it was a
Still
blur.
a blur.
It was a blur. So this is the end of the quarter. And so like this is, for people in logistics, this is crazy time.
Yeah.
And so we've been working on TUFO nonstop, been doing this nonstop. And so my days have ended up being like these 15, 16-hour marathons where it's just going super hard. But I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. My brain's just having trouble keeping up at times. There's a lot of coffee being consumed right now.
Yeah, I hope you get some sleep tonight, babe.
I'll be good. I got to work in the morning. I'm looking forward to it. And then got a coach after that. And then we've got more TUFO content. And
treat meal.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like I'm just absolutely enjoying and loving life right now.
Yeah.
Just staying pumped.
I love all of this with you, babe.
I love it with you too. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you haven't already, like we mentioned in the beginning of the show, if you get anything from this, please share this out. We're trying to grow. We're trying to help as many people as possible. And your voice helps us do that. Your shares go a long way. I'm the kind of person, I hated sharing stuff. I'm not that kind of person before we got on social media and put ourselves out there. I get it. I know where you're at. No one cares though. I promise you. But we do. And it means a lot to us.
Right.
So if you could, please do that. And if you haven't already, please follow and like the show on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on whatever platform you listen to. Check us out on YouTube. We're there as well if you want to watch us talk, like we've talked about before. And check out our website, www.twofocouple.com, twfocouple.com. And if you don't know what our IG is, that is probably the number one place to find us and follow us and find all the fun stuff. That's TWFO_couple. That's TUFO_couple. Reach out to us. There's probably some stickers in it for you. And we'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, until next time, I'm Matt.
I'm Paige.
And we'll see you.
Bye.